All right, we'll call this meeting of the General Government and Finance Committee to order at 5:30. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with section 19.83 and 19.84 Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Roll call, all members are present. And with that, we will move on to item 3, citizen input. Please be advised that we would like to keep your comments to 4 minutes. And if you'd like to come up and speak, please come up to the podium, fill out a yellow card and turn that in before you speak. So would anybody like to come forward?
Okay. I don't have much to say about the budget. I'm not that involved. The only thing I'm seeing is that we need a definite budget here in our community. We have to go back to figure out from Matt, how much money do we take in and what do we have going out? And I think we have to be more financially conservative than we've been. We seem to say yes to everything that comes up for 1,000 here, 10,000 here. It's ridiculous. This is something, if it were your personal money and people came to you for thousands of dollars, I think you wouldn't be as generous as you have been. And what affects the budget? Being financially incompetent, okay, in decisions that are trying to expand our community, all right? And I don't know what the big rush is here to expand our community. We need to stop spending for everything. Do we need to build a path in Richfield? No, we don't need to build a path in Richfield. And you can all look at it and say, oh, another bunch of crap. It's not. This stuff costs money. And when I drove by there on my way to West Bend, and we're talking about sewers for Richfield. What are we building sewers for? Let that community pay their own sewers for the developers that are going to build there. We're not going to get tax benefit from the people who build homes there. And when we purchase properties like what we did with causing our $9 million debt, how unbelievably unwise, and I guess that's the kindest word I could think of, could this board do is to, with the regular board, to purchase these buildings and put us in this terrible, terrible financial debt. And, all the little things that you say yes to are what affect what we spend and how it affects our taxes. And contracts, there should be no contract written for this community that this attorney doesn't write an out for us if there's a problem. We have a crappy economy right now. It's up and down. And I look at stocks and see what's going on everywhere, and it's not that great. And we can't be tied into anything unless there's an out. And I think that should be a number one thought. And not only that, but our ability to stay on a budget has a lot to do with all the stuff that our administrator and our development director wants to do. We can't afford this. All they got to do is say, no, our taxpayers can't afford it. And that's a very good reason why we can't do what we're doing. And I think this board needs to start doing this or we're going to be in a very big problem. And I don't want to be paying for mistakes, okay? And financially, disability, issues that are going to cause our taxes to go up because they affect all of you who are taxpayers. I don't want to pay for those mistakes. And so I think I'm really trying to encourage you people to use a little more wisdom in saying no. We don't have to say yes to everything that walks through this door. So thank you for letting me comment.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward for comments? All right, if not, we'll move on to consent agenda, which is the minutes of July 21st, 2025.
Move approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Did you see that?
Sure that we're using our microphones as well, please.
Trustee Cutts was the second.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Trustee Kaminsky made the motion. All right, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There is no unfinished business tonight, so we'll move on to new business. Item A, a resolution ratifying a proclamation declaring a state of emergency in response to a natural disaster resulting from historic rainfall. We have Attorney Sajak.
Sure. So for those of you who were here during COVID, you may remember the process slightly because we're going through it at that time as well. But in terms of the proclamation, under statute, the chief executive officer of the village, in other words, the village president, has the ability to declare a state of emergency. That declaration, however, has to be ratified by the village board. And so the resolution before you this evening just looks to ratify the proclamation declaring an emergency that President Soderbergh made last weekend.
All right, and this is protocol going to general government and finance first before it goes to the village board. So we would like a motion to recommend the ratifying of this resolution.
Right. I make a motion to approve the resolution ratifying a proclamation declaring a state of emergency in response to a natural disaster resulting from historic rainfall.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion. Any discussion? Didn't think so. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. With that, we'll move on to item B, update and recommendation on 2026 budget process and development.
Thank you very much. In your packet is an updated memo on kind of where we stand with the 2026 budget and the process going forward. As you recall, when we presented kind of the forward-looking 2026 budget back in June, we had a gap of about $600,000 between projected revenues and projected expenses. As departments have been submitting their budgets, we've been able to close that gap to about $350,000. Over the next 2 weeks, myself, the village administrator, will meet with each department to review their budgets and present a balanced budget to the village board on September 15th. Following the September 15th village board meeting is where we'll have to make some decisions on how the trustees and committees would like to review each department's budget. In the past, we've done roughly 4 committee of the whole meetings where the village board sets those dates to review essentially a set of budgets from each department over the course of 4 nights with the ultimate budget adoption towards the end of November. Staff has laid out 2 options. Option 1 is that same committee of the whole process where the village board meets to review each budget. An alternative process would be that each standing committee and the Park and Recreation Commission review their oversight budgets. So GGF would review finance, clerk, administration, IT. Public Works would review the Public Works Department and the utilities. Public Safety would review police, fire. At those meetings, those standing committees would make recommendations to change those departments' budgets, where then at a final committee of the whole meeting, the village board would take actions on those recommendations by the committees. So that's kind of where staff is looking for direction tonight of where the village board would like to review those budgets.
Yeah, so just a little background. I brought this up a couple village board meetings ago and discussed 1 of 2 things. Personally, I don't get a lot out of the committee of the whole meetings. I think it gets very boring when you go through this stuff and try to review everything. So I took a cue from Washington County. Washington County puts it at the committee level first, and they go and review everything. And after that, it gets recommended back to the village board, as Matthew said. And then we have a committee of the whole meeting and look and review the entire budget. But the heavy lifting of the budget then is really done at the committee level on this. So that's what we're looking at is recommendations for this to see which way we want to go in order to accomplish a budget this year. So Trustee Kaminsky had her hand up right away, so I'm going to go to her.
I have been advocating for the committee level all summer long. In fact, I thought that's the direction we were going. In fact, I thought by now I'd have a special committee meeting, as I know you did too, Jan. I would like to get this Public Works budget meeting done as early as next week. I've also mentioned that I will not be here for any of these committee of the whole meetings. I am leaving October 1st for 2 weeks. And I've told everybody that 2 months ago, and I've reminded everybody 2 weeks ago about that. And I would like to be here for the budget, being the person that's probably sat at this dais the longest. I definitely think we should do this at committee level. We are closest to what's going on with our committees. And I even specifically said, I want a PowerPoint presentation that shows For example, any piece of equipment that anybody wants, why they need it, how old is the old piece? This is the way we used to do it 10 years ago. And it was very effective to go committee, and then we still had committee the whole meeting, so everybody could take a swing at it. But a lot of the heavy lifting should be done at the committee level. And that, in that case, the committee of the whole should accept that we vetted it extremely well, and the process should go much, much more quickly. Now, my other complaint is, normally we're much further along in this process. In the past, we were starting our budget committee meetings in early September, like right after Labor Day. And we were done by the middle of October, when we're just, we had our final meeting if we needed it in the middle of October. So to me, this process is moving very, very, I won't say methodically because I don't know about that, but it's moving very slow. I mean, much slower than I would like it to. Because I'm assuming everybody's been working on the budget and they know what they need all summer long. Let's just get going on this. So in my opinion, I'd like to have my committee meeting next week.
All right, trustee Cutts.
I agree with everything trustee Kaminsky said. I prefer option 2. I think the committee should be looking at it individually and working with the prospective departments that are with your committee. So I'm all for that. I think we should be more involved instead of waiting. I will be gone for 2 of the COW meetings if we do it the way you have it scheduled, because I'll be out of the country in October. So I really. Okay. Option 2 is what I agree with. And my question is, then we do a completely separate public safety meeting that all we do is the budget? Okay.
Most likely this would be, special committee meetings for the budgeting.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Jan Miller.
Thank you. I agree with trustee Cutts and trustee Kaminsky and chairperson Miller. We need to do this on a committee level. I got some information from Finance Director Matt Useding about the gaps that we've had in the deficit. Did I say that right, Matthew?
If you're referring to
The
the budget gaps,
Yes.
in the summers, correct?
In the summer, yes. So there have been gaps every year. So is there, I think that since we're in the committee, we see what's going on, we might have a better feel for what direction to go in. And I agree, we should have a special meeting. We should have it now. It's the worksheets to my information, the information I got, those were already sent out to the directors early July. So they have been worked on in some ways. It's almost the end of August, and I agree that we need to get this started for a special meeting. I wholeheartedly agree with option 2.
Do you want her to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
was just
I
gonna
didn't
say,
I
no,
wasn't watching.
that's all right. We can certainly go with option 2, and I think option 2, has been the preference of the trustees that I've talked to over the course of the summer. I would caution that at this time the budget isn't balanced, so reviewing the budgets before the budget is balanced will have limited value, as none of those numbers are solid. I think it'd be prudent to wait until a balanced budget is presented to the village board before any committee reviews the budget. Otherwise, those numbers will not be accurate or up to date.
What
As
is that going to be?
September 15th is when we're planning on doing the budget. As mostly, well, historically, at least since I've been here at the village, we've done it the second village board meeting in September.
And historically, that's way late. Why do we have to wait that long? Can we get this thing balanced? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Can we get this thing balanced and talk about this if we're having a meeting on September 2nd and just move it up so we can get these committee meetings done?
We certainly can present the balanced budget at the September 2nd village board meeting. We would just have to move up the timeline a little bit, which is certainly something we can do. The village administrator will be gone for those 2 weeks in September, so we're hoping to have it done around then anyway.
I think we should meet on the 2nd. Do you need a motion for that, or is that just something we want to take back to?
I think we can roll that into one motion. Yeah.
Are you referring to the village board?
Yeah, I think we need to have the budget, we need that budget discussion on the 2nd. We need to have these committee meetings done later that week, or no later than the week of the 7th. I mean, this is,
This always seems to be a time of year, I guess, when the board does take some vacations, and October is always tough. And with two identified here as being out of the, gone, I think we do have to move the timeline up if possible.
Yep, but that's certainly,
I understand that Steve isn't going to be here, but you're more important than he is on this.
Right. You're the finance
and that's
director.
certainly understandable. Part of the reason where we pushed, well, I can't speak to what it was like before I came at the Village of Germantown. Much of our state aid doesn't come in until the end of September, early October. So we don't have those final revenue numbers until then anyway.
Right.
So that's part of the reason why we pushed it back a little bit, to get those hard numbers. Certainly willing to move faster along that line.
I don't want to keep talking on a turn. Those numbers, we can probably estimate.
Yep.
From last year, not more than anything we received last year, maybe less. And that will help us even be a little trimmer on the budget. I don't think that should delay us in any way. I would like to point out though, because an audience member did say that we say yes to everything. The point is, we don't say yes to anything that's not in the budget. Anything we say yes to is already in the budget that was approved last year. And I just think that's an important point to make, that we do not spend anything outside of what's been approved in the budget at any point in time.
We can't without a special.
We can't. It doesn't work that way. I just felt like I had to point that out, just because people are listening and watching, and that's how the village works. You have a budget, you stay within it, and when you hear yes, that's because this has been vetted previously, generally speaking, or it's been debated well here, but it's already in the budget.
Yeah, you got them.
One of the things that you mentioned, trustee Kaminsky, was the trucks. And you used to look at the trucks, and that's kind of Public Works and Highways. We will have a meeting next week. And I believe we were promised asset management report on on all of the equipment. So we'll be able to review that.
And there's really two parts of the budget. One is the operating budget and one is the capital borrowing.
Right.
And the capital borrowing is typically where those large investments and vehicles and things like that come from. So I can see that going to committee of the whole and really discussing it at that level, but we should make recommendations as at the committee level as well. One thing I want to mention is that there has been some questions from village board members regarding Park and Rec, because those aren't elected officials with the exception of one on that committee or commission, I'm sorry. I feel like it's okay for the Park and Rec Commission to review that budget and recommend it back to the board. As another commission, I think it's a commission. I never know if it's a committee or a commission or what the difference is, but the library board. It's a similar configuration. Right now, I think that they'll come to GGF and submit their budget to us. However, we could look into that and say, and put it back to the library board first and review their budget and then submit it to us. So when you look at this, the other three standing committees, those are all elected officials. That's not an issue, but the Park and Rec was in question with at least one village board member. Go ahead, Mike.
I was on the library board last year, and that is a separate board, and they do approve their own budget before it comes over here.
Okay,
So they meet separately,
so that already is done.
Correct.
right? I mean, not that we
There's
can't
a portion of it
adjust,
that we approve.
I mean, we
just
have to do the
basically
final
ratify their
approval.
Budget,
Yeah.
right?
okay.
Well, we have we have our amount that we give to the library every year. Remember how we cut it 2 years ago? And they had to cut their
Yes.
hours? So the village does contribute to that pool, and we do have to approve that,
Right.
with the assumption being that it's never extravagant, it's always the same amount.
Matthew, on the library, do we have to wait for what the contributions are from the county or any other?
We get estimations from the county of
Yeah.
what they'll contribute.
You'll know before that?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
on for 3 years.
Yeah, we'll know
They have
what
an
the county
idea.
gives us. What we don't know until really end of October is what the village's minimum requirement is to contribute. But historically, we've been over that amount or at that amount
Okay.
by the budget time.
It's one of those committees I've never been on, so.
It's 2/3 funded by Washington County and 1/3 by the village.
Opposite. It's 2/3 by the village, 1/3 by the
1/3
county.
Right, okay. Sorry, I need more coffee. Okay.
All right, well, you can see we've done this budget. Terry, I wasn't here when we did it at committee level. So we've always done it at the village board level, and I think taking it back to committee level, like you were talking about, is, I think we're all in agreement with that, so we can entertain a motion on that, and if you want to include the September 2nd review of the
Yeah,
budget,
I
I think
would just-
that would be good.
I would just add to that September 2nd review. It might not be included in the packet over the weekend. I have budget meetings all next week with department heads up until that Friday.
Sure.
With the packet being due typically at Thursday at 2 p.m., we won't be done with meeting with all department heads and balancing the budget by then. So just a heads up that way.
Okay,
Matthew, will you be able to send it to us electronically that over the weekend sometime?
I'm certainly planning on having it done by the end of the day. If
Friday.
we're
Okay.
presenting on September 2nd, I will plan on having it done hopefully by the end of the day next Friday. Knowing, we still have to do all the department head meetings. Last week kind of threw us for a little bit of loop, so there was no meetings last week.
Right.
Working on meetings this week and next week, and hoping to, planning on presenting a balanced budget in September.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we do the initial budget recommendations at committee level and bring them to committee of the whole and have our budget meeting on September 2nd to kick this off so we know where we're at financially.
At the village board.
I'll second.
trustee Kaminsky and trustee Cutts seconded. Any further discussion? I think we had it all. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, just blowing through this agenda.
Flowing.
With that, we'll go on to the reports, starting with accounts payable. Any questions on accounts payable? Okay, moving on to item B, budget to actual. That's year-to-date budget to actual reports, and that's either PDF in your packet or we did get a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
If you looked at that.
There we go.
Trustee Cutts.
Matt, I just had a question. I know like the postage, I think 2 months ago when I asked, when do you allocate that? Because it's still all like in the non-departmental?
Yeah, typically we do that at the end of the year. We can start doing it quarterly. Typically we do it at the end of the year once all the postage is complete. That's really just preference. We could do that quarterly if that's easier for folks.
Okay, and just for my curiosity, do you guys have a postage meter that you use here?
Yep,
Where you
correct.
could actually have, each department could have a number and then you could make your entries monthly?
Correct. That's how many communities do it. They'll punch in a number when they use a postage machine. Historically, the folks that use a postage machine the most are in the finance department and the clerk's office. So we haven't done that, but we are looking to do that in 2026, especially as we have more elections coming up.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else? Yeah.
Well, so you're going to move it from annually to quarterly? Is that something, isn't it easier just to do it monthly? I'm just asking. I don't know about postage meter.
It's all the same. I don't know if it's any easier or harder. It's all the same. On the year-to-date budget, I'll highlight two of the revenues. If you look at community development revenues, building permits, those types of things, those are tracking very well compared to the 2025 budget, as well as recreation revenues. They're about $40,000 to $50,000 higher than they were last year at this time. So those revenues are tracking well.
All right, nothing else? We'll go to payroll Anything on payroll? Probably not. And then item D, contracts. Yeah, go ahead.
Matt, another question for you.
Mhm.
Everything, have you guys gone through, everything from 2024 that's open? Has that been dealt with yet?
Yes, we have reviewed all the 2024 contracts. We're still holding some of them open for retainage purposes, just to make sure that all the work is complete to the village's satisfaction. A lot of those are DPW contracts that will hold open until, they give the final thumbs up that the quality of work is good enough.
Okay, I was just wondering if, I guess, for budget purposes, if any of that could be moved into the general fund to help with the deficit? I'm
No,
just curious.
those are all within the capital fund, Fund 40, so it's a separate funding mechanism.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, contracts? Or did we just go through that?
Yeah.
Losing track here.
You mentioned it, but we hadn't talked about it.
Oh, okay,
Are we mentioning it now?
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Um, do we, I'm just asking generally, do we have more contracts? Are we doing more contracts now than we did, let's say, 2 years ago when you came on board? I don't know if you have.
Are we doing more? I wouldn't say we're doing more. I'd say we're reporting more
Right.
than we have.
Recording them?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
That's.
I
what
wouldn't say we're doing
so-
any more than we were, but we're
Okay.
tracking them within the financial
Oh,
system.
okay. Why would we not record or track them in Tyler Munis?
We are tracking them in Tyler Munis.
All of them.
Yes, and any contract, certainly anything that's
Okay.
over $5,000.
Okay.
Maybe some of the smaller ones we're not capturing as often, but certainly anything over
We were-
5,000.
I know at one time, maybe it was last year, you were trying to get caught up and stuff. So we're all caught up.
Yeah, the departments do a very good job of getting all their contracts into the system.
Great. Wonderful.
There was one contract that we were gonna do an RFP for the financial stuff, and do you have an update on that?
RFP for municipal advisor services and municipal
advisory.
investment services. Yes, I do have an update. My update is last week, our committee did not get a chance to meet to make a recommendation to GGF. I have reviewed them all as well as our accountant on staff, but I didn't feel it was, prudent or acceptable for just us two to review them and make a recommendation. So once we get kind of our feedback under us after the event of last week, the village administrator, I've asked the village clerk, and I'm looking for somebody else as well to review them. So we have a full range of departments that, can give their input.
Great, thanks. Anything else on contracts? If not, that is all the items on here, but just wanted to check with Matthew if he had anything else that he wanted to comment on.
I don't have anything outstanding that likely won't be covered tonight as part of, the event of last week and the dollar amounts associated with that. My staff, the clerk staff, much of the DPW staff have been working to make sure we track all the information, gather any expenses we incurred for that. And there'll be presentation on that tonight, as well as kind of the next steps forward with FEMA and any state assistance. In the finance department, at the end of next month, the third quarter utility bills will be going out. So folks should be on the lookout for that. Other than that, within the finance department, it's been a lot of budget, pulling documents and information together in preparation for the 2026 budget adoption.
Okay. Thanks. Any questions? All right, if not, we will adjourn at 6 PM. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming.
I don't mean to sound like that, but you know, a little bit.
These were no, they weren't. Sorry, pants, sorry.
No, I haven't having these kind of decision meetings. Only been discussing options.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I appreciate the fact that they're having these discussions open, that we all hear it.
Right.
Once I get planning each of these. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna reserve those. Yeah, that's in, it's September 7th, yeah.
They have really nice.
So that's not approved yet.
I
We still got it.
You have to share photos.
Yeah.
The turtle, right between two. I like it. Sorry. I like the turtle.
See, since I moved here. But make the plan, it should be out, someone else, you know.
It's getting congested, sort of already more congested.
I counted, I was yesterday, counting 30 cars in each lane. And it took 3 legs to get me to the house. Wow. And it's not.
Tuesday, Saturday,
Time
night
of year
out.
times. But then I was almost 12 o'clock and one house. And the same, and then same with Pillow, it took me to cross my street. It took me 7 minutes to cross Pillow because I had 15 cars coming in one group. And when they went to state, I couldn't get a pass.
I don't know, I'm pay for the shift that are met, and that's fine.
Oh,
Thank you. Special. That's what they like. I'm gonna go get some gas, because my car is low. We have an hour.
Yes.
It's either the BP or.
I put in my number for us, you can save and.
Oh, that's good. Well, you, how much do you get?
Sure.
We'll have to go.
Minutes. Just some sugar to get me through. It's been a long week. Did I work on Sunday? Yeah, that's good. Losing track.
Monday is the first day.
Can I hear you?
I don't see so. Here's the way he wants to be. I don't think. It's. It's actually. There is a man that has, there's been so much money, so many people, and kids did with years, years to get a job there. So, they have this space, and certain days he followed. Crazy for the community. I don't want to see them destroyed, remember, but they should have. Listen. It should be, he shouldn't be a lot of things, everyone should always all their soul in their dogs, you know, that's sort of the things. And they don't get cultures. Traffic here is here, you're gonna be right around your ladder. It's awful, it takes me 7 minutes to cross Stolen Road, and I didn't do 18 years. This. They not, I'm so wrong, they get on the road. We have been very common, 15 years straight, and now they're all those letters. If they're from says, it's. And I didn't switch points myself on the house because it's.
I think we got the right way. Chance.
I know, the ratings. Speaking of this, like, maybe. Boring like this, show. You can plug in everything. You know, or kind of. Thank you. I'm not such a space. They are so funny. That one that was very interesting. And we were
Yeah.
right across. We were sure the village in we had a beautiful. I had my home area flooded, the trees were. I just started days ago. That was going, not an accident or something. I don't know if you were perfectly. It's show didn't. Yes. Oh, it's changed hours. We are. Also, the and the city just like the rest of the chicks, everybody, but no. Yeah. And. Yes. I should like that. Silly thought.
Mine was on the opposite. I applauded every time there was a heavy rain.
It's.
My basement, salt. 2 songs, but it keep up. And they control all the water on it, comes off. That's positive for me.
Yeah, it certainly is, but it's, I'm really close. So I haven't, but I mean, it was. I don't mind building. That's the thing he wanted to give us. It's the land he wanted us to take, it was very water.
Yeah, so it was.
And he would say, oh, no, really? Go build a house there. Oh. Interest. That's all I care about, is the gas fair. I'm, my budget, and I know so many people don't, just living. See that.
That percent.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that is. Well,
They didn't sell this one, they didn't sell the building, they didn't build it, but somebody who wants to buy it, and that was there. Everything we have on it on. They want to pay it. I've never since. Already would. Was getting. Yeah, I didn't know where it was. We were going. I understand the way the site and in 2 weeks, so and certainly 3 seconds. That's good. That's 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 much. The 17 is small is yeah. We really have to get some people to listen. I don't like her so. Oh, pretty much like that.
People have.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I'm sure it's all.
I just. Did you ever go up, did you ever go in early and then make it up? Yeah, and days were bad. So. I met. Oh, in early. Are you still? Yes, oh, that's her. Yes. Yeah. Oh. She was. No. Yeah. So that's the kind of so it's trying to. Right. Well, the streets out the things that. These are. Especially during. Everybody make here. You know, when I was working through a lot of them, like, maybe 20 years ago, they were making the arms. So,
Just.
Right, yeah, I get it.
Unfortunately. We don't love your data about everybody.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Make it. Yeah, that is the problem. Like Rose.
Yeah, just, yeah.
It's more like Steve. Steve, about something if you don't mind. I have a
Figure all that out.
He said, "What are you sitting on that iron pick?"
That's what I say.
It was, she said that. I can't.
Like probably.
How much water did you get?
I just had like rivers and then it was enough to create puddles that were about that deep. Yeah,
All through the floor.
no, through the salt pump, I think.
Just some.
Yeah, I had like the electricity, but it came so fast, it couldn't keep up. And, that's the whole thing, it wasn't, thank goodness it wasn't the sewer, you know. But my neighbors across the street, for some reason, all three of their cell pumps failed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they,
You have three,
I know they have
or
two,
you need different homes.
no, across,
House,
yes,
three.
yes. Well, for sure two, maybe three, because I thought he said three, and so a lot of the other neighbors said two. Well, it's two for sure. And they had their doors out, they just started pulling stuff out today, and it was massive. It was like, I mean, this is the third time we've had like a flood. We had the 100-year flood, and then a couple of years later, we had another 100-year flood, remember that? Or maybe they,
That's all I used to be, almost couldn't keep up, so I, with a sewer pump head, with a bigger. Up, it's running every 6
oh,
So it was.
so,
More,
it's some months, wow.
sure.
What does it cost?
$200.
Oh, that's.
But,
It's bigger, it's 2 inches, 7 inches.
well, I think I had that.
Oh, my smoke rock was the same.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, you just dump it in. That's what they did. They switched it out. I don't know if it failed or what happened the last time. I said, I need a higher power. And that's what they did. And they had this,
They put a bigger sump on
they put a bigger, sump pump, and then they have this tubular thing that vents it out.
Is there a difference between some of this?
There.
It's not a super salt well because they had 2 salt wells in there.
Oh. But it's all.
I mean, is the drain where the sewer is? You put a sump pump in there.
The nice smoke rock, they said,
Oh, I see.
yes,
I see.
they came in that past the water table. It's a place for water.
Was this time or was that at Joe's house? Was that at this house?
Yeah, it's all.
Really?
But now they're going to north now.
Oh,
So they're controlling the water.
and,
Because the overflows that come in like, then they do. Do it, pretty good, solid. Yeah. It's really controlled.
that's the water goes, yeah.
That's what she said, Annie.
Yeah.
We can't build no strong soil.
Well, all the roads were flooded and some of the people on County Line were, and Landon Road. It wasn't just right up at 41 and
Yeah.
County Line. It fell out
Yeah.
by Landon as well.
And her, you remember the.
She sent pictures on our.
Yeah.
What was the most thing I've ever?
Really?
6 hours. Well, I mean, it's start.
Oh, here's your looking like.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it next week. Maybe there's a study from
Imagine that. Texas, they're on their way back. They were on top of everything. Yes. Just should be good, but
She's not.
Well,
She's not.
oh,
So I just say show them.
there you go. Safety. Do you really? At work or on this one?
Most of it's black and goes to junk. Or to the junk, they just throw it up the meter. So I can see the blue out.
I'm not. In fact, this last week, my family in Florida. I have a niece that's married to a very famous founder. And her husband is sure he controls everything she does, and she just says. That gets to a point where, so, say you did it, but one of the firms. You know, we spent an anniversary and. Lessons. And, I think that half of them were glad that was done, and the other half, then the husband saw this, that it blocked everybody, and then they blocked that, and this one blocked that one, and so. It was. And the Republicans in Florida are very well, you know, so. It's ego. That's what it is, it's ego. And it's never been to work a day in his life, you know, and, they must have a lot of money, but they won't. But they, he's an era, you know, it's the name of those scales. Very popular. The Borg scales. BORG, they were in every store for 40-50 years in the railroad. Started that business. Okay, so they got me at 15. Wow, and, oh, he never had to be paid for anything he did, all that he could. And then $2 million a year as a trusted. Oh, he's never worked, or I guess that was the comment too that was made in. So that working relation, and working. So there. Okay, so everybody blocked everybody. It was very interesting. So we'll see how long this takes. My brother blocked me and he had no idea how he did it. I said. Man, I'm not even on Facebook. It's not of me. I'm not, I didn't know. But she, I don't want you. It was interesting. It was like interesting. We got it. And they're Republican, they were very well known as a Republican. Social setting in Washington, stuff as they travel around the country for the Republican Party. And they do fundraising and stuff like that, you know, and so they're very long, so they have to keep up that. It's not sure. Jay Leno was there in shorts and near notice, and she had this huge hat like this, and that's how they live, you know. And it's so bad, but she's there, but if you have that's the price you have to take it in control. I don't know if I would watch that.
See that,
Sessions.
I haven't seen it for months.
Well, the next ones are Jackson and, I think we're on. You know, different. What do they do with the listings? So,
Oh, it's like,
what's the favorite column?
I don't know, not that one, that's Venison. There were 3 of them on there.
I should read tonight. What are they gonna talk about tonight? Nothing.
We're gonna repeat what we just did.
That's it.
That's basically
I
it.
mean, you know, don't say too much.
People that want this session, some of the response,
Will be, yeah.
The what?
specific to the response in terms of funding and what took place and.
Oh, the,
Nothing
what you
about
need to
develop or
qualify.
anything like that. Maybe I'll go then.
Yeah, the proposed resolution.
The proposed resolution details.
Well, they took the MRI of my head. But it's totally destroyed. I can hardly move I can't hold my neck. This is it. And I had to get that done to see what's wrong. All the nerve endings are closing up. So
Can you get therapy? Like,
I will take surgery now.
I said to her,
Yeah, I will. They regularly me want to send me to a spine specialist. I said. Because he can't do any more filling. I'm not gonna have surgery on my lower back or my, but I'm not gonna do that.
is it in your neck or?
Yeah, well, it's in my neck and my lower 4 and 5 are damaged. That was done for, that's just for arthritis. But this, that all I can really get it on. And it's, I'm gonna live with it. That's all I can do. And I can do the therapy. I put heating things on it and stuff, and I move around. I keep it.
No, but they can do some.
Well, the therapist, I said, I think I'm not cut off therapy till I find out what the MRI says. Then you'll know how to attack it, you know, and what's.
Well, I have that.
He already did this, so yeah. All the main surveys are closing, and there's no movement there, so.
As you get older, this is what I found out, you just,
Really football.
well, yeah, first of all, don't fall.
Well,
And then,
I'm not gonna wait, because this is gonna be the same repeat, right?
there will be more discussion on this.
So I don't know. What are you talking about, what they're doing, and talk about what they all did.
Yeah, what do they start? Oh, yeah, what, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
No, it's been good. It's,
Wrestling.
you know, it was tough to believe Jesse after
Yeah.
17 years.
Since.
It was the right time.
It is further from your house now?
It's almost exactly the same price. Driving in a different direction. At least when I go to this once, if I go to bed, a little bit longer.
Got Brexit in town. Yeah,
It's-
takes a year for you.
I mean, kind of traffic, yeah, she knows. Really big traffic, I can get to.
I would like,
Say,
I would like my brain.
Yeah, the fire.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I see spot around, like they do get your, but it's together, doesn't come all in. I want to make sure.
Jefferson County is not well for this. Plowing this.
I think between that and the second one is, again, who doesn't want, that's only, but it's 41, 45.
No, but you shouldn't be there shortly and thinking there's, and then you did it, and you filled out there, it was wrong.
Yeah. Take the side roads, but I'm gonna survive this, see something, I gotta do it, I gotta.
No, you didn't do it.
43 from
It's not
like
like-
160.
Maybe.
Install.
Yeah.
Just-
Pretty bad. So you fix the power.
It's the-
I have Jacob.
I mean, shade.
Yeah, I have Jacob. He's gonna go on Wednesday.
I have friends who said I was trying to try that, so I would very strong.
Oh, and that's good, like as long as she can.
But I'm not, it's hindering.
All things work.
Why? You know, I take them to the next round and that we're gonna have why is it? Our square. Yes. Watch. Maybe you know. It's all. And and I got so right after the one in Boston. Yeah.
Was it the free one or was the school one?
A lot.
Yeah, but it's 200. No, it's yeah, it is. I don't, but I got it. I make sure I in a pile. I am ready.
Steve pulls our own cases.
So even up.
Yes. You know. On the last half, so I highlighted all of it. Yeah. And the stakes. Yeah, and so those are remarkable things that. So that's all. But everything else. Stuff, no.
At my mom.
When I'm in, and there and stuff. Sure, no, I got it more. No, I know the pictures everywhere. They used to be so stuff, they're having fun, pharmacy, to be on support, we walk there. That's where the walks. And those, that never thought they remember these, right? Your body, right? The same bodies. Body not, what is growth up? I mean. Yeah, we, now I really have it. Actually, there's a shooting at like, on North City and Congress, and it's just like 3-4 blocks of those. And then Peter.
And all that.
I know this stuff, I am crazy. I was like that, I learned. It's 91st Street, 97. You could put down the major on that, with the voice. I still think that we're in the streets. Anyway, that's okay, right? It's okay, I'm just, it shouldn't be, you know, it's not, actually. She does. Like, oh, right. So can't even. That's. So I said, but. Yeah. Yeah, can't even get that, and that's right.
Did she go to the see?
You're right.
But they.
You know, that's it, but, she's very. So she's got, and Dennis, she's got, and there's a, right, have to get my mom to say, nothing. She's got any minutes. I don't know if you get watch. I can all. I got. Just come from TV. The addiction. She should read. First read. So. No.
But see, they talk about, he was there. And they're starting to see. It's
Always something. Right, and then we.
That's.
That's great. It's crazy. It's just crazy. They don't understand. They don't need for anything. Yeah, probably don't. But it's ridiculous. My sister-in-law said, you know, I ain't saying.
Yes, well, this is the way they see the second part of that.
Oh, telling you. Her part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was some.
Things you borrow.
But anyway, money is my last thing. We're gonna have the reports about what they did in the flood. That might be a little. Well, my street looks like so. In Winston, you know. Yeah. No, we have that, we have, just the, I'm not kidding, sometimes I bought my house, because thunder and lightning. Intense. It's just, I house, yeah, and the lightning didn't. It wasn't even like. Yeah, and that's one that was. And then it just, it was just like the sky. And my neighbor, it was watching. The radio came out the river. Still from above, on the other side, it's everything.
Once the.
By that. And then it went. And we're. Created a bigger.
Insane.
From the Hudson. And, it still went over. And it wrecked the road, it just fixed. And had a big dividend. Ready also. And so they drilled it uphill. So there was blacktop like this, and it just like, it's just. So that's. Yes. They had. Right, that they had, and they. Well, we, yeah.
Wait, concentrate.
Right, right. Are you on Facebook?
So.
So it's not on top of the where.
So.
Don't show my name.
Consider changing it.
You want to have for fans for. Wow.
Yeah, I needed it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably all 3 pairs. It was an experience. Shut up. Direction well. It was probably at least 50 years. There's
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're tiny, tiny incomes.
Yeah. Like that. Falls to Cedar. Yeah, especially since they. I think no, they only give us 2 feet. I think. Yeah, it's the snow. Wood washing, yes. So they're all saying.
Yeah, so that's. There's just like our relations. Yeah, but those are, I drove around checks, it was like, everything like that.
That was literally like a car was compared to the river. Great.
You catch up on your seat there?
It's just lots of pressure.
Oh, that. They're all being more here. Not some like the, but the heritage part, it's like right here in the vision. They don't, they don't have. It's the day. So. It's like.
Yeah. It's time bad. Yes, yeah, well, 500 for that, makes, are we okay? Yes. Whether it's, Thanks, you're generating.
Yeah.
Games there was. Just run a seven.
Yes, it just looks like.
Yeah.
Until I will. It was, yeah. Yep. Go back to. Go, there you see it. Okay. And bring it on. Great. Who are you? Good. Did it work? Super. Hey. Yeah. It's cool. You guys think.
Okay. But I ain't worried about. That's funny.
Pretty time.
Oh, which wakes up too.